We will now hear from the valedictorian and salutatorian of the class of 2016. The valedictorian is Austin Michael Koresh. He is the student with the highest GPA in the class of 2016. And the salutatorian is Jack Michael Carberry, the student with the second highest GPA. Austin and Jack have a number of common denominators. They have Michael for their middle name. When I wrote this down, the first thing that jumped to my mind was Michael the Archangel, the heralder of good news. And Austin and Jack have definitely been good news, not only for BC, but also St. James, where they both attended. They are high achieving. Austin earned a 101.92 GPA, 13 certificates of excellence, 4 medals of excellence, and took 7 advanced placement courses. Jack earned a 100.85 GPA, the Harvard Book Prize, the Star Student, the Science Medal of Excellence, and took 8 advanced placement courses. They are creative with a wonderful twinkle in their eyes. In my research for their introductions, a faculty colleague sent me a YouTube video of Austin and Jack, along with 2016 classmates Thomas Crossley and Nate Hickey, doing a Spanish-speaking video their sophomore year. The video was a spin-off of the ad for the most interesting man in the world, but not for Dos Equis beer, but rather for San Pellegrino water. Austin, in his video, has a book in his hand, and while he speaks Spanish, the subtitle states, "I am so interested that I gave the talk to my father." Followed by the tagline, "I don't always drink water, but when I do, I drink San Pellegrino." Jack, in his video, walks out of a Victoria's Secret store. And his subtitle states, "I am so interesting that Victoria told me her secret." Followed by, "I don't always drink water, but when I do, I drink San Pellegrino." And they are friends who respect each other, as you will hear in their speeches. Jack will speak first. I present to you the salutatorian of Benedictine's class of 2016, Jack Michael Carberry.
Good afternoon. Father Frank, Mr. Daly, faculty, invited guests, friends, family, fellow graduates. I am truly honored to have been given the opportunity to speak on behalf of our class today. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and looking so presentable. Even Landon somehow managed to bring his cap and gown for the occasion. I'd also really like to take a minute to acknowledge all of the teachers who have inspired me over the last 4 years and helped me get to this podium today. If their consciences did not permit them to accept my bribes in return for good grades, there's no way I'd be up here now. Seriously though, we've all been gifted with certain attributes, and although I may possess some academic ability, I truly believe my success comes down to an outstanding work ethic and a motivation to succeed. When I first pondered the idea of having to write this speech, I thought I would love it. Then, when I realized it's really just another homework assignment the administration was giving me in return for all of my hard work, I was a little less excited. Not only was I going to have to write a speech with absolutely no instruction, but I'd also have to present it in front of a massive audience. The day has finally come. The day we've been told about for the last 4 years of our lives has finally arrived. Those of you sitting alongside myself today, awaiting anxiously the passing out of diplomas, have failed and fallen hundreds of times, and yet continually risen back up to complete this journey through one of the most formative periods in our lives. We will soon be granted the opportunity to go off into the world and share our talents to all those around us. The class of 2016 is a very special class in many regards. We have 54 students graduating this year, the lowest number Benedictine has had to offer since 1973. Many of the classmates we once walked the halls of BC with have disappeared since we began as freshmen. As a class, those of us left here today have likely evaded more trouble than Hillary Clinton, who somehow is still a candidate in the presidential election. On a more positive note, our modestly sized class has achieved so much. 10 students were accepted to the University of Georgia and 5 to Georgia Tech. We have accumulated over $2.5 million worth in scholarship money, and we have students going all over the country to further their education. Our involvement in athletics has been superb. 2 state championships have been acquired on our watch, and countless region championships have been added to the trophy cases. Every student possesses a special talent that helps create such a remarkable group of young men. The bar has definitely been raised for the future students of BC. The memories we've shared over the last 48 months have been like no others. Who will ever forget the day that Dr. Frankese hit Wish with her car in the parking lot? Or that time during freshman gym class when the seniors traumatized us by releasing a barrage of Japanese plums in the locker room. And although our days of arguing with Will over whether or not a certain, very infamous German figure was actually a good leader are coming to an end, we were always right and he was always wrong. Our class is the only class that I know of to mortify teachers so badly that they fled the country. Mr. Crockett now resides in Dubai. And even when the days were tough, and believe me, sometimes they were totally miserable, Wyatt's consistent ability to brighten the mood of anyone's bad day is something we'll all remember for the rest of our lives. On a more serious note, I really do believe that BC is moving in the right direction. With many changes that are altering the status quo of the institution, most changes are steps in the right direction, and they are focused primarily towards the betterment of the students. Although we may not have liked them so much to begin with, we began to understand that the decisions were for the best in terms of our development. And now for some administrivia. I would like to recognize a few people for their continued guidance in my life. First, Mom and Dad. Mom, you are my eternal support system. You are the base to my tower. You have always been there to keep my head on straight and have continuously led me towards the path of success. Even when my motivation lacked at times, you encouraged me to look on at the bigger picture. You have presented me with the gift of life, well, obviously, and I'll make the very best of it. Dad, you are next. Dad, you are the man I look up to most in this world. Your strength as a father is something very few men can match, and it is something I one day wish to emulate. You have taught me hundreds of invaluable lessons, and you always kept your faith in me. For these things, I am eternally grateful for as your son. Next, I'd like to recognize 2 teachers who have motivated and influenced me on a great level. Mr. Hicks, our physics teacher, is the most efficient man I know. If the student body voted, he would be unanimously selected as the very best teacher at Benedictine, as his hard work does not go unnoticed by his students. Mr. Taverdi, the math department head, has influenced me on a more personal level over the last 4 years. He has been a constant role model to look up to every single day, both in the wrestling room and in the classroom, and he inspires me to become the very best person I can be. Both of these people embody the characteristics we should all strive to acquire, and they are 2 of the most valuable jewels that BC holds in its coffers. I'd like to congratulate Austin on his valedictorian status. Austin, your motivation to learn is greater than anybody I've met in my entire life. We've gotten really close over the years, and I've learned a lot from you. Nobody will ever be able to live the phrase, work hard, play hard, better than yourself. For some reason, as the years passed, I always kept telling myself that if I worked hard enough, I'd eventually be able to catch you and take the spot at first. And even though that never actually happened, you have indirectly taught me how to maximize my potential, and that's something I'll never forget. To the class of 2016, wherever you go and whatever you do, give everything your all. Leave a positive mark on every place you visit, and strive to make the lives of the people around you better. Try to become the very best version of yourself possible, and always remember where you came from. Hold true to yourself the many values you've acquired while at BC, and always thank the people who've led you to where you are today. Thank you.